Hi, guys. Welcome to the Seeds Storyteller Series. My name is Sarah. I'm founder of Seeds of Exchange. And Seeds of Exchange is simply this. It's gathering people together to share stories, to do what we can, to learn about and care about what is happening with our sisters and brothers around the world, and to do what we can to make a tangible difference, to just love and care for people in our neighborhoods and around the world. So I am here joined by three friends of mine that I'm very excited to share with y'all. And as each of them share their stories and as I introduce them, we're going to talk about what has brought us together, the four of us and our three organizations, for a global collaboration that we invite you to join us on. And we're going to talk about how and what that all means. But first, I want to introduce you to these three friends. This is Hanan, founder of Goodwill Caravan. Thank you for joining us from London. Marta. She is director of operations in Athens, Greece. Thank you for joining us with Goodwill Caravan. Thank you, sister. And Ricky is my dear brother. He's co-founder of PUR International with his amazing wife, Becca. And he's joining us from Colorado. Thank you, Ricky.
Hey, good morning.
Okay. So what I want to share is just a quick umbrella of why our three organizations have come together. And then I want to share just a glimpse of these extraordinary human beings, what has brought them to be doing the work they're doing, what their organizations are, and how we all are the lucky ones, and we get to learn about what they're doing and do what we can to join so that we can make a difference together. Okay, my nudge is this: lean in. I have my cup of coffee. Imagine that you're just having a cup of coffee with four friends, and notice what captures your attention as these friends share their story. I believe there is destiny in our sharing of stories in ways where we ask ourselves what we might learn, how we might share the story, how we might join the story. And so if you're listening, I believe that there is a purpose, a divine purpose. And as I said, it's a stuff of destiny. So I would like for Hanan, please, if you would share what Goodwill Caravan is up to and the story that I know that led you to begin this incredible work caring for refugees around the world.
Hi. Okay. First of all, thank you, Sarah, for including me and Marta and also Ricky, hi, in this storytelling session today. And it's wonderful to be partnered with both your organizations. My name is Hanan Ashek. I'm a psychologist, a mother of three. I have two twin girls, 13, and a son who's 10. I hail from you today from London. And around 8 years ago, I was just watching the news and I saw that 165 children, I believe that was the number, went missing in the Calais jungle, which is in France. It's a refugee camp in France that was supposed to be for 2,000 militant training, and it had in it 10,000 refugees because of the story that happened in Syria and the things that people have seen on the news. And I remember at the time it was a decision. And the reason why I'm highlighting this decision is because it was one decision that I made that has placed me here today, leading an organization that works across multiple locations, the UK, Greece, Libya, we're hoping America soon, doing protection projects, focusing on fighting human trafficking and modern day slavery for refugees, but also for forcibly displaced populations. So it was that one decision, 220,000 beneficiaries later, one decision. When I was folding my son's laundry, I remember in 2015, to get in a van and go to Calais and check it out for myself, because I had a really hard time believing that this could happen in Europe, that 165 children could go missing just because there's no electricity at night. I went, I found that it was the case. There was no light in that camp. And I went back and told my husband, so here's the deal. I'm going to leave the NHS, which is the National Health Service, where I was making a proper salary. And I'm going to just look into this. And that's how it started. Goodwill Caravan has been working now on protection projects for legal aid, which is really important. I'll get into that in a moment. Shelter for women and children, again, really important, medical, but also integration, education, and all the things that help people integrate. If you're going to take one thing away from everything that I'm saying in these 5 minutes that I have, it's that not many people know the why. The why. Why is it that these refugees, these men, women, children, get on these boats or cross these borders, wherever we're talking, whether we're talking in the United States or whether we're talking in Europe and other places in the world? Why did they not settle in the first safe country that they enter? So, for example, for Syria, that might be Turkey. For Afghanistan, that might be Islamabad, Pakistan. And the why that we found over the past 8 years that we've been working in this field of emergency response is information. They do not have the right information. The only person on the end of the phone line to a refugee or a forcibly displaced person fleeing war is a smuggler. They might not know it's a smuggler. They might not know it's a trafficker, for example, or someone that will exploit them. But the reality is they build a dream for them. For 1,000 euros per person, for example, imagine a family of 8. You will be able to cross these borders safely, and you will end up in Europe or America or wherever the dream is, and you will settle safely and be given a villa or a house or whatever. The reality is, Mariam, an example that I always give, who I met in Taksim Square in Istanbul in Turkey, who was a teacher, a mother of 2, teacher from Syria who was teaching teenagers, sitting, begging in Taksim Square, which is like a touristic event in Istanbul, for 2 years because she believed, because her brother's friend's neighbor's son told her that it would cost 3,000 euros for them to cross the Aegean Sea, the sea between Turkey and Greece, and they would be given all their rights, a house or a flat, for example, asylum in Greece. But the reality waiting on the other side, and this is when I realized the importance of the lack of information. Getting information to displaced populations is really important. It's a project we're working on now, a digital platform that we're building called the Light Web. But this woman didn't realize, I told her, Mariam, are you aware that you don't have the right of asylum in Greece as a Syrian now? Are you aware that on arrival to Greece, you may wait anything between 1 year to 7 years to get an asylum claim approval, and that you will likely wait in refugee camps that could have up to 70 organized crime gang members in them? Were you aware that around 30,000 unaccompanied children have disappeared after their arrival to the borders of Europe? Italy or Greece are the first ports of entry. Are you aware that it is not very likely that all of you will survive the Aegean Sea, because many of these motors stop within, what is it, Marta, like 20 minutes of them taking off, the motor will stop and the boat will take on water? These children that you've so carefully cared for, from leaving Syria when your house was bombed to getting them here, looking over them, watching over them, hoping that they'll make it to Greece, they're likely to be trafficked because you're not likely to make it alive to Greece. So in summary, we are moving from emergency response. We're still doing emergency response work, of course, but we've heavily reduced it. Marta's really felt that pinch because she's like, but what about this and what about that? And we're focusing more on going to 7 locations. I'm wrapping up the main idea now. Going to 7 locations. So we're rewinding geographically for all those that focused in their geography classes at school. We're going from Greece back to Turkey, back to Lebanon, all the way back to Pakistan. These first safe countries that people enter to, we're going up to people in 7 different hotspots in refugee camps. We were just in Pakistan recently asking women with covered faces that couldn't read or write, what is it that you need that will help you settle here? What do you need? We're collating all that information and we're putting it on an information platform. This project is going to take like 3 to 5 years. We're putting it on an information platform called the Light Web, which is inspired by the opposite of the dark web, which is where they go and they're exploited. And we're hoping that you will join us in building this platform. And we're hoping that you all join us so that we can empower refugees and halt the supply chain of human trafficking. And that's a wrap.
Wow. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I mean, for those that are listening, whether you know all of what Hanan has talked about, or that is all brand new, it's just a lot. And I want to just point out a couple things. The first is, you are a mom. You did not set out to be doing the work that you're doing. You just took as you said, one step, one yes at a time has led you. It has not been comfortable. It has not been easy. You've been way over your head in terms of the hows and the whens but you just have been faithful. I know you. You have just done everything you could at every moment to do what you could to care for the people right in front of you, and to be strategic and visionary to care for the people that you haven't yet met, that you know need this care and this work. So thank you, Hanan. And to those watching, this is fair warning. This is not easy. Living a life that is engaged, that your heart is wide open to do what you can, what you're called to do, what you're drawn to do, is not always easy. And that's why I believe we have to be in conversation together. We have to have people like this tile of friends to encourage us, to support us, to collaborate, to champion, to remind us that we can do it, because we can do it together, but it's not easy. So thank you for who you are and what you have done and what I know you will keep doing, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marta, we're going to come to you in a moment. I'm gonna hop on over to my bro, Ricky. Just quick context. Ricky and I met only last year. We have a mutual friend, John DeYoung, who's our water guy, founder of Vivo Blue water filters. And I wish Ricky and I could just sidetrack on this incredible human being who's put us together. But we were in Ukraine and Poland together last year, delivering water filters to people in need there. And that is when I came face to face with one of the most generous, big-hearted brothers in the world. And I just have infinite respect and love for you, Ricky, and your wife, Becca. And would love for you to share a bit about PUR International, Finn's Army, and just the human reality of the Waitman family, because you also have a family, kind of what Hanan was saying. You have a big, full life. So give us a little glimpse of those three pieces.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it. And Hanan, that was very eloquently put. I loved that so much. Like the piece on information is just so crucial. You see it in the countries where they don't have open, free access to internet, and the lack of information they have. Like, it's an amazing project you have with that light web. I can't wait to see how that forms up and how God uses that to just really change people's lives. But man, amazing. Sorry, just I got excited about that.
Please.
Yeah. Okay, so my family, PUR International. Rebecca and I, we're high school sweethearts. We've been married for almost 20 years now, and we've always loved helping. Our parents were just great at really instilling us the value of serving people, and we've never really been limited by. I mean, we come from rural North Dakota, small little town, but we've just never really had no be an option or limited our thoughts or our dreams, really. And I read a book by, I think it was Bob Goff, called Love Does, a long time ago, and it just resonated with me too. It just the crazy life that he's lived and that his children have lived, because they just saw an opportunity to love someone and said, okay, let's do it. Let's figure out how, and just what's the harm or what hurts to try and send a letter or make a call or do something. And so we've kind of lived our life that way. So PUR International, we formalized kind of what we were already doing. And really it came from James, the scripture that reads, pure, undefiled religion is caring for orphans and widows in their time of need. And we just loved that scripture because people really screw up religion. Doesn't matter what religion, we just really tend to focus on the wrong parts of it and what it actually is, which is about love and loving people. And so we took that scripture and just really put it into play. And we've kind of bounced around with what exactly our mission is. Aside from that, obviously it's weighing any opportunity against, does it help orphans or widows? And if it does, then let's try and figure out how to do it. And that's turned into everything from pit latrines in Uganda to fun sports bar in Costa Rica. There's just, and everything in between. We just try to take what we have and use it to, sometimes it's to meet immediate needs that are there, and sometimes it's to partner with people for a longer lasting, a deeper change in their area, their village, and where they're at. So it's been a really fun project, and as you had mentioned, it's tough. It's a lot of effort and heartbreak goes into trying to help when you see the opportunity to help thousands or tens of thousands, and sometimes because of limitations of government or situations, you only get to help 10. And so we've been trying to be good stewards of what God's given us, and we've had to really be proud and excited about the 10 and try to really focus on that and hope for the chances to reach more and more. And it's been fantastic. And the way Finn's Army works into that is we have my wife Rebecca, who's a huge part of this. Sorry she couldn't be here this morning. She's being mom, I guess. So we have 4 kids, and on the U.S. side, we weren't doing a whole lot. We were focused more internationally, and we've been doing some things. We had a friend whose husband had died, and they had 6 kids. He had a heart attack playing basketball. He was 42, and it was just as we were setting up our actual formal 501c3 nonprofit. And I remember the lady, the IRS lady, had asked us, "Okay, so what else are you going to do?" And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, and we're gonna help, people in times of trauma, where there's an unforeseen trauma or tragedy. We're going to come in and try to help. And I don't know what that looks like. It was mainly just financially for quite a while, but moving a couple of years into it, we lost our 8-year-old son, whose name is Finn, in a car accident. And we just saw the army of people that had come around us in that time, whether it was just keeping toilet paper loaded up in the bathroom for family that was there, or meals, or keeping the house clean, or just making calls and organizing rides for our kids to other places. So we really had time to grieve and to connect and make sure our family was okay. But we just come when the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and I come to give life and life abundantly. That scripture really, the thief doesn't just come to try to make Finn die. He was trying to kill everyone, trying to kill the ministry, trying to kill our service, trying to kill everything that we're trying to do. And he's always looking for collateral damage. So we set this group up, and it's still kind of a work in progress, trying to figure out how to really connect with families who are grieving and in loss, and build a network so we can connect people that, if someone's husband dies of brain cancer, we could try to connect them with someone who's gone through a similar level of suffering and trauma, and something that can help from psychological and counseling point, but also with just experience. So being able to bring a level of empathy instead of just sympathy has really unlocked a lot of doors and opened people's hearts to be more receiving, to come in and just show them love. We don't have magic answers and a correct way to do things, but we are pretty good at coming in and listening and loving people and just trying to give them our experience and hopefully help them where we can. So it's turned into just an amazing, really painful project, because you could kind of relive that situation every time you go walk another family through it. But it's been really healing at the same time to take something like that and turn it into a purpose. So really just, that's about the gist of what we're doing. Like I say, I wish people always ask what we do. It's like, well, sometimes we dig holes for pit latrines, and sometimes we drink beer in Costa Rica. So it's quite a wide variety. So it's pretty engaging, though. We love it. But probably the biggest thing we've learned is that what I always think of is, I think it was Peter that was walking by the disabled guy, and he asks him for some help, and Peter says, "Silver and gold have I not, but what I give freely. Stand up and walk." And we always are going to believe for the stand up and walk portion, we're going to help people and pray for them and expect the miraculous. But the truth is God's given us silver and gold, and what we have, we want to use in those opportunities. If we can come in and help serve that immediate need, we're going to try to work on the heart and the relationship, and that's the real miracle in my mind. So we're just trying to find access to that somehow. So that's, yeah.
It's amazing. I have seen the many, many ways in which you have lived over and over the story you told, and just helping. I like what you were saying about how hard it can be to see the tens of thousands, and sometimes it is about the 10, the one, who is right in front of you.
The one.
So thank you for just 1 by 1, 10 by 10, doing what you can with so much love, Ricky. It's a beautiful thing to witness. And actually it's what's brought us together here, because you know, to talk a little bit about what has woven the three threads of Seeds of Exchange and Goodwill Caravan and PUR International and Finn's Army, those three organizations together, is part of our Seeds Giving Fund, where all around the year I have the gift and the joy to spotlight stories of friends of mine that are doing incredible work around the world, so that we can learn, so that we can't really love people if we don't know what's happening in their lives. Like, what do they need? How might I have a little something that could bring some aid to someone? So that's part of, we want to share stories, and then we also want to raise funds. So what we are doing right now during the months of May and June is partnering to raise funds for Goodwill International and Goodwill Caravan. My gosh, I blended PUR. Maybe that's the thing. Goodwill International. I just blended all of our things. So
let's try that.
Goodwill Caravan. And we are raising money so that we can support the legal needs of our sisters and brothers who are in Greece from all over, much of Africa and the Middle East, and a little bit of Southeast Asia, I think. Is that right, Hanan? Right. And we're hoping to raise $5,000 for that initiative, and then another $5,000 for the mass exodus and the great human need that is happening right now in Sudan. Our sisters and brothers who are trying to flee or have fled and are now the forcibly displaced peoples that Hanan was talking about, who are always out of that desperation, prime for the predators of people that are looking to prey on their vulnerability and traffic them for labor, sex, all kinds of dark, terrible things. So if you can, friends, check out the links below. Donate. I'm telling you, if everyone does a little bit, even if you don't feel like you have a lot, that's the beauty of a community of people who are doing what they can with what they have. What Ricky was saying, the silver and gold, it can make a difference. The dollars, the rupees, the euros, the pounds, it all can make a difference. So for those in the United States, the reason that Ricky and Becca have joined this conversation is they're the fiscal sponsor, which means that all of your donations for US donors are tax exempt, which, if you are someone that has thousands of dollars to give, that helps a lot, the fiscal sponsorship. So your gift is tax exempt in the United States, thanks to PUR International's fiscal sponsorship. And you can donate in whatever currency you have from around the world. And please share this with your people, because that is the true gold, the true gift in the four of us and our three organizations working together, is expanding into our networks so that all of our friends and family and friends of our friends and family can be a part of it. That is an honor to be a part of this endeavor. So thank you, Hanan. Marta, you are coming to us from Athens, Greece. And would you share a little bit about why it is and what it is that you love being a part of in this incredible work of Goodwill Caravan?
Yeah, so I came to Greece in 2017, so it's been some years now. I met Hanan in a pharmacy. She was just buying lots and lots and lots of medicine for a detention center. Actually, it was the detention center. So I just went up to her and asked her, like, so what are you doing? And then she explained just roughly, because she was running, what she was doing and what was her mission and so on. So then time later, I found out that this actually I remembered yesterday, I was living in a flat that was just in front of their office in the center of Athens. So I watched them come and go, and I went to their office sometimes, and I knew what they were doing. Okay, so like a couple of years later, so this was like 1.5 years later, more or less, one of the families that I was assisting here in Athens needed some legal aid. So I messaged Hanan and just asked her like, so where should we go? What should they do, and so on. And we went to one of the lawyers, and they took the case from like they had a rejection, so an asylum claim rejection. So they took the case from, I mean, no hope to a positive decision. This family is now in Germany and their life is completely changed. And I follow with them like every single day. So I know that their children are going to school. I know that they just received their passports in Germany, and the wife is working and the husband is now working. So, like it actually made such a difference. So all of this happened before I started working for Goodwill Caravan. So I already knew like the work that was being done because I saw it. So then when I started, and then I met Hanan like more personally, and the work that we do here, like it's just like the right way to go. That's like, I think like a summary that I can say, like it's just what we have to do, let's say.
Okay, so what I want y'all to hear as you're listening to Marta's story is, again, she was at a pharmacy, just a human being, just all of us are regular human beings, ordinary, everyday people. But what happens, what makes your story extraordinary is you noticed, Hanan, you noticed this woman piling pharmaceutical medicine and Band-Aids and all the things that the people were needing. You just paid attention and you just took one step. Obviously, you got her contact information, because then when you met this family that was in need, you reached out. You just took one step. And so for those listening, it's, if we think we have to do like the big thing, be Bill Gates and have millions of dollars, but it's tied to our everyday life. So notice what is capturing your attention, friends, as you go about your life. What's on the news? What's breaking your heart? What's bringing tears to your eyes? And find one thing, like Marta, one thing, one connection to make, one thing to do that can make a difference, to love on and care for whatever is connected to what is capturing your attention. So as we wrap up, yes, Hanan, you got something.
I'd just like to add really quickly that, I mean, Marta failed to mention that she was a humanitarian herself. She ran a shelter for youth for 2 years before I met her in Athens, and that family that she was helping, she took in to live with her for 2 years. Just needed to add that. She kind of overlooked that. And also that the work that we do focuses on women and children, just what Ricky was saying about PUR International, focusing on bringing families together, helping them in their grief, in your case, Ricky, and at their time of need. We focus on family reunification. We focus on the most vulnerable. So it's low-risk groups of kids that can be on their own or detained or at risk of exploitation. But Marta is a humanitarian, and that's why she's on our team.
God bless you, sister. That's amazing. So that is with our theme. The steps Marta took were not convenient. They were not easy. It wasn't the easiest course of action in her day to invite this family to live with her, but I do believe it was the stuff of destiny. It was the one yes, the one step at a time. So thank you for your love, for your care, for doing one yes and one step at a time, which has led you to be a part of this extraordinary team. And thank you for sharing a glimpse of your story with us. So friends, as we wrap up, please, before you hit, pause and you go on to the rest of your day, just I talk a lot about these places of pause, because I believe no matter what is happening, most of us have a lot going on, physical, emotional, spiritual challenges, or those in our lives that are challenged, or those in our news feeds are challenged. So these places of pause, just take a moment and take a breath and just allow the seeds of these stories to drop into your heart and see what sprouts. And whether it's sharing this story with someone that comes to mind, whether it's donating, the link will be in the write-up. Please donate. If you're listening to this story after our fundraiser is open, be assured there will be more opportunities, more needs that you can be a part of, and campaigns you can be a part of with Goodwill Caravan and with PUR International and Finn's Army. These people are in it for life. This is woven into their DNA. It is part of what the air that they breathe. So trust that if you're listening to this, there is something for you. And we hope no matter what, that you feel a deep sense of love, of the gift of this kind of belonging, this global human family that we're talking about, that you belong, yes, and that we belong to each other. And then please just take one step in your life, whether it's caring for a neighbor or something tied to this campaign. We really don't care. We just want to have these ripples of ways to love and care for one another that we hope, and we would be ever so honored if that comes from this conversation. So Ricky, Marta, Hanan, y'all, I love you guys. Thank you for who you are, for what you do, and for being a part of this global collaboration that we get to have our stories intertwined to pull off. So thank you. I love you guys.
Yeah, love you too.
Thank you. Yeah, Hanan, Marta, I want you to be able to say goodbye as well.
Thank you, Sarah, for bringing us together. We wouldn't have been here on this call if it weren't for you. Thank you, Ricky, for taking out of something awful and painful, like the grief that you felt when you've lost your son and are continuing to feel, by helping others to get through it. Thank you, Marta, for joining the journey with Goodwill Caravan. And just thank you all, whoever is listening, for caring enough to give your time.
Yeah. Yes, Marta, feel free. I want you to be able to hear your voice as well.
I would like to thank you first to joining everyone here in this call, making this happen. And thanks to Ricky for everything you're doing for us. Like, it's a game changer. So thank you very much. Thank you to everyone. We can meet you maybe in Greece, maybe online, who knows? We are here. So any questions or anything you need, we are here. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Marta. All right, you guys, thank you. Blessings on your day, on your work, on your lives. And to those watching, my closing nudges, let's stand tall together and let's light up the world. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.